In the previous video, we learned how to reduplicate one-syllable verbs. In this video, we'll take a look at the reduplication of two-syllable verbs in Mandarin Chinese. Let's first see them in context, and explanations will follow later. 你应该多运动运动。让我再考虑考虑。你应该多休息休息。我想打扫打扫房间。你们先讨论讨论这个问题。As I mentioned in the previous video, when a verb is reduplicated, the tone is weakened down. It expresses that the action is done for a short duration in a relaxed manner or to make an attempt. It has the effect of softening the tone. When reduplicating two-syllable verbs, you must use ABAB pattern. Note that this is not the AABB pattern you use for adjectives. You must repeat the entire verb. For example, 运动 becomes 运动运动. 考虑 becomes 考虑考虑. Also note that unlike the reduplication of one-syllable verbs, you cannot add e in between the two verbs. You cannot say 运动一运动 or 考虑一考虑. If the actions are completed, you can place了 in between the two verbs and say 运动了运动 or 考虑了考虑. What's important to know about the reduplication of two-syllable verbs is that many two-syllable verbs you know are actually verb-object compounds, not the general two-syllable verbs. You must differentiate them. You cannot reduplicate the VO compounds using the ABAB pattern. For example, with 游泳, to swim, you cannot say 游泳游泳, since 游 alone is the verb part of this word. You must reduplicate only the verb and say 游游泳. For another example, 聊天, to chat, cannot be reduplicated into 聊天聊天, since 聊 alone is the verb part of this word. You must reduplicate only the verb 聊 and say 聊聊天. In the sentence, 你应该多运动运动, 运动 is a general two-syllable verb. 动 is not an object of 运, but 运 and 动 put together expresses to exercise. In terms of pronunciation, you may have noticed that there is no tone change. Unlike the reduplication of one-syllable verbs, with the reduplication of two-syllable verbs, the repeated part remains the same tone as the original base verb. As in this example, the repeated verb 运动 has the same tone as the original verb 运动. 你应该多运动运动 suggests someone to exercise more. By reduplicating 运动, it helps with softening the tone of the suggestion and expresses the brief and informal nature of the action. As I mentioned in part 1 of this video series, remember that not all verbs can be reduplicated. Most reduplicated verbs are durative actions controlled by the doer willingly. A durative action is an action which takes place over a period of time. In this example, 运动 is a durative action that's controlled by the doer willingly. For another example, in the sentence, 让我再考虑考虑, 考虑 is a durative action because it takes a period of time to complete the action of considering. 考虑 is also an active action controlled by the doer willingly. By reduplicating the verb 考虑 into 考虑考虑, it helps with softening the tone of the expression. 让我再考虑考虑. Let me consider it again. If you want to express that you have considered it, you can place 了 in between the two verbs and say 我考虑了考虑. Here, note that the AB 了 AB pattern is usually used in the narrative sentences. Let's look at another example. 你应该多休息休息. It suggests someone to rest more. But when you repeat 休息, it helps soften the tone of the suggestion and express the brief and informal nature of the action. Also remember not to use 在, 这, duration words, or any complements that indicate some sort of result, since reduplicated verbs indicate actions done for a short duration in a relaxed manner or just to make an attempt. So if you use 休息 as an example, do not say 我在休息休息 or 我休息休息着 or 我休息休息1个小时 or 我休息休息完了。If we use another word 打扫 as an example, again, since reduplicated verbs indicate actions done for a short duration in a relaxed manner, or just to make an attempt, you should not combine 打扫打扫 with words that indicate progress, duration, or result. So, do not say 我在打扫打扫 or 我打扫打扫着 or 我打扫打扫1个小时 or 我打扫打扫完了。我想打扫打扫房间 This sentence expresses that I want to clean up the room. By reduplicating the verb 打扫, it expresses the idea of cleaning up the room briefly in a relaxed manner. Let's look at the next example. 你们先讨论讨论这个问题. It tells people to discuss this issue first. By reduplicating the verb 讨论, you can soften the tone of this request and express the idea of discussing it briefly and casually. Also, as I mentioned in part 1, make sure to put demonstrative pronouns like 这 or 那, 这些 or 那些. Just like in this example. 你们先讨论讨论这个问题. You can also say 你们先讨论讨论这一个问题 or 你们先讨论讨论那两个问题. They are all correct since they have the demonstrative pronouns like 这 and 那. But you cannot say 你们先讨论讨论一个问题 or 你们先讨论讨论两个问题 since the measure words are used without demonstrative pronouns. Remember, as I mentioned in part 1 of this video series, it does not encompass all the intricacies of verb reduplication. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. As you expose yourself to more examples, you will eventually get better at it. Alright, now let's do some practice. Rearrange the following words to say, go tidy up your room. You can pause the video and think about it first. Yes, the answer is 去整理整理你的房间. Rearrange the following words to say, you discuss this matter first. Again, you can pause the video and think about it first. Yes, the answer is 你们先商量商量这件事. Rearrange the following words to say, I want to rest first and then do homework. Again, you can pause the video and think about it first. Okay, the answer is 我想先休息休息，然后做作业. These are more challenging, but see if you can answer the following questions based on your own situation. You can leave them in the comment section below. Try as many as you can, but no need to answer all of them. 你觉得你该不该多运动运动？你觉得你该不该多休息休息？你觉得你该不该打扫打扫你的房间？你可以考虑考虑多看我的视频吗？你可以在下面讨论讨论你想看什么视频吗？ Okay, this is a summary. You can take a screenshot and crop it out for your future reference. Thanks for watching.